us all, bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may he watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jessica, statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 9th day of September 2024 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Kolisi.
Here.
Noha.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski. Zabrowski.
Donna, you want to do approval of minutes?
Yes, I move the following minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary, the August 19th regular agenda and executive session.
Second. Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Kolisi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Are there any proclamations? Okay. Anything for executive session? All right. All business?
Public hearing on ordinance number 39-24, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 40-23, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
At this time, I'm going to open to the public for any comments on ordinance 3924. Are there any comments? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Balca.
Move the public hearing be closed. Ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson
Yes.
Polisi,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski. Public hearing on ordinance number 40-24, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 5 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Section 5-5.6 A and B political signs.
This time, I'm going to open for for comments on ordinance 40-24. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, Jim Robinson, Parlin. As you know, I talk to a lot of people in town, and the thing I hear most is, I sure wish political signs could be up for an extra 2 weeks. But I know why Donna brought it up, because of early voting. So on behalf of really nobody, thank you, except maybe the candidates, thank you for this ordinance. I do have 2 comments I want to make, though. In section B, I think the word should be erected within 30 days, not erect. And the other thing is section B talks about if your signs were put up in accord with section A, then they have to come down by Saturday in 3 days. So if they weren't put up in accord with section A, then that doesn't apply. So I would suggest that, and I'd ask the attorney this, that we strike within 30 days or 45 days of the election pursuant to paragraph A above, and just say must be taken down no later than the Saturday. Because I think that's what you really want to do. And on the second one, this was mentioned, I think Mary Novak and I both mentioned it last time, on 42, and John wasn't here, he's the sponsor of that. That talks about having the signs come down on Friday. So it would be nice if they came down on Friday, but whenever they do come down, they should be consistent. Stash, I know how you're going to vote on this, because driving here, I saw 2 of your signs up already. They look good, they look very good. But that's all I have. Thank you. And I hope you'll make those corrections.
Are there any other comments? Being no other comments, Councilman Anoha, if you would.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I just want to clarify. I think for this ordinance, the only changes was to the language of the 30 to 45 days, but the additional recommendations being brought forward, if there are errors, can that?
It's being adjusted.
Okay, just wanted to confirm and clarify. With that being said, I'd like to take a motion to adopt ordinance 40-24 and move the public hearing to be closed and the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Anoha,
Yes.
Falca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 41-24, an ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 26 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend section 26-89.8, sign schedule 1 and 2, sign permit revocable.
This time I'm going to open for comments on ordinance 4124. Are there any comments? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Zabrowski.
Yes, just a note, we are going to address that in an amendment coming up. Okay. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski,
Yes.
Falca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
No, not that I'm aware of.
New business?
Yep, introduction of the following ordinances, ordinance number 42-24, an ordinance to supplement chapter 26 of the municipal code entitled Land Development to make modifications in order to obtain Middlesex County approval of ordinance 32-24.
Councilman Khaleesi?
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on September 23rd.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Khaleesi.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 43-24, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilman Balka?
The ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing be held on 9/22/2023.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for comments on the consent agenda. Are there any questions? Being no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
I need to abstain on 2024-211. Yes on all others.
That was 211.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
And Zabrowski. I need a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Make a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay. Council reports, Administration of Finance, Councilman Balka.
Thank you, Mayor. As you noticed, we got our audit reports. They're sitting in front of us. I didn't have much time to look through it yet, so I can't comment much on it. Other than that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to take a moment to thank all those that came to the 9/11 ceremony yesterday. We had our Speaker of the House come, and one of the things he said is reconstitute. And reconstitute meaning that we should always be vigilant and understanding of what the nature of what occurred 23 years ago and the impact it had, not just on our community, but in the nation as well. So tomorrow, I hope our community does take a moment to, one, give a prayer to those that we lost and those families that have lost loved ones, and also to our first responders, several of which are from Saraville, have medical issues as a result of being both at Ground Zero and also at the landfill site. So, and then finally, that we all be vigilant that this doesn't occur again. Planning Board meeting was last Wednesday. During that meeting, the Planning Board approved Landfill 3 development, which will be 2 cold storage buildings on that site. That was in combination or collaboration with Sarah, Planning Board, the borough, and the developer to get that through. Next Wednesday will be the meeting, the next meeting for the Planning Board. That'll take place at the Active Adult Center. And that's further testimony by the applicant on the mosque. And then finally, Sarah has a meeting this Thursday. It's the first meeting since July. We skipped on in August. And finally, the Board of Adjustment did meet last week, but the applicant requested postponement till the next meeting. And Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Enojo.
Thank you, Steve Mayor. Just want to take a moment to express all the regards to our public safety officials for the continuous work and the updates on our reports and the improvements that come within. Beyond that, Mayor, the rest of the updates come from, general residents who are seeking the things that they've been pushing for since the beginning of your term now. So whether it's more public accountability in our public portions of the meetings, ability to ask more questions and get more answers from yourself or the officials here on the dais. And I think that I always get feedback time and time again that will help them feel safer in the public if, their words and questions can be held accountable in the public forum beyond just meetings in the offices and behind the scenes. So beyond that, I do implore you and our council to see if we can make more accommodations towards that. And hopefully there'll be more progress. Thank you.
Okay, Public Works, Councilman Kalasi.
Just a big thank you to all departments of Public Works for all our past events and what's left for this year. So great job and progress.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to thank everybody that attended the 9/11 service. It was very beautiful. And I want to thank all the fire departments, police departments, Boy Scouts, all the public officials that attended. It was a very nice service. As far as the recreation, this is a busy weekend. We have Blast from the Past car show on Saturday. We have Cerebral Day on Sunday. The times for them, car shows from 4 to 7, Cerebral Days from 12 to 4. The farmer's market's still continuing it. We have a new date for the teen night. I also have a flyer up here. And Jim, it's free. Okay, cruising at Kennedy Park, September 25th. That's going to be another one of our car shows this summer. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Water, Sewer, Environmental, Council President Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. There was a meeting of the Environmental Commission. I was unable to attend, but received their minutes. They are, the garden is wrapping up. It was quite successful. They want it to be even more successful, and it actually is a beautiful backdrop to our new farmers market. And I also attended Eli's memorial service. It's been a year since he had passed from saving his cousin's drowning, and he himself gave up his own life. And then, of course, the 9/11 service was quite a lovely service. And I'm looking forward to all the things we've got going on this month. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you.
No, it's to me. Authorization to join the Monmouth Ocean Educational Services Commission Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund 2022, 2023, and 2024 taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax for 131 Old Spy Road in the amount of $22,346.92.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund 2021, 2020, and 22 taxes and cancel all subsequently for 100% disabled veteran tax exemption covering 18 Parker Court in the amount of $7,668.01.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund 2022, 2023, and 2024 taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax for 17 Thomas Place in the amount of $15,394.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a contract to GPC Inc. through MOESC contract number 2503 for interior painting at the construction office in the amount not to exceed $15,003.75.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Authorization to bill the owner of 144 Washington Road a total of $310 plus administrative costs for the removal of a substantial amount of overgrowth from the property.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Authorization for the Borough Clerk to advertise for the receipt of sealed bids for abandoned and unclaimed motor vehicles in accordance with NJSA 39:10A1.
Are there any objections?
Request received from the residents of Dunlap Drive to hold a block party on October 5th from 12 noon to 11 p.m.
Are there any objections?
Authorization to extend the contract with B&W Construction for routine and emergency repairs for an additional 2-year term in an estimated amount of $946,456 per year.
Are there any objections?
Authorization to purchase stormwater catch basins from Campbell Foundry through NJ State Contract in an amount not to exceed $44,684.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to purchase one 2024 standard F-250 pickup truck and one 2024 utility body F-250 pickup truck from Winter Ford through NJ State Contract in an amount not to exceed $109,178.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Request received from St. Stan's Church and School to use the stage for their car show on October 27th.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Application for special event received from the Saraville PBA to hold an Oktoberfest fundraiser on September 28th at the St. Stan's Carnival Grounds.
Are there any objections?
And then it's on to Becky.
Okay. Becky, if you would fill in for Glenn.
I sure will. Authorization to promote Thomas Voskalevich to assessing aide effective September 16th.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Nicole Galveo from part-time clerk 1 to full-time keyboarding clerk 1 in the municipal court effective September 16th.
Are there any objections? That's it. CFO report.
Authorization to accept the Safe and Secure Communities Grant number 25-1219 with the State of New Jersey Federal Grant Program administered by the Division of Criminal Justice, Department of Law and Public Safety for the period of June 1st, 2025 to May 31st, 2026 in the amount of $45,150. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Two items. First is Kennedy Park bathroom improvements. Next week, we're receiving bids for the project. If everything's in order, we're looking for a resolution awarding that contract at your next meeting. Second item is Kennedy Park walkway improvements. The borough received a $325,000 partial Green Acres grant for funding improvements to Kennedy Park. So I spoke with the administrator. He would like us to prepare the plans and specifications. So looking for authorization to proceed with that work. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Borough Attorney's report? No report. Thank you. This time I'll open the public portion for comments on any issues. Mayor? Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to thank Councilman Enoha for his comments about comments. I appreciate that. Stash, I want to thank you for sitting down with me and Mayor McCormick last week to talk about the teen night, and not just the teen night, but other events that ought to be free and that were free years ago. And I'm happy that this teen night is going to be free. But I hope more comprehensively, you'll also revisit the idea of charging for these programs, because there are families in town that can't afford it. Now, I had some conversation with the recreation director. The youth programs line item in the recreation budget is only $7,000. And it's been that for at least 3 years. We've got a $65 million budget, 6,500 school-age kids, and $7,000 in the youth program. I mean, there's money for sports and other things like that, but $7,000 in that one line item for youth program, we got to do better for kids. And that's, you know, that's maybe why they wanted to charge for the youth night or the teen night. At the last meeting, I asked if council had gotten the appraisals for the property next to Kennedy Park, and they hadn't. Have they as yet? I know you don't, you can shake your heads.
In January, our BA said that it's the Open Space Committee, right?
Said what?
You asked this in our January meeting.
You stop the clock, please, for.
You asked in our January meeting, and it was our business administrator said that it was the Open Space Committee that those requests were sent to for
Yeah.
appraisals, right?
Yeah, but subsequent to that, I asked about the appraisals, and the appraisals did come in a couple months ago. And last month, when I asked, the council hadn't received them. And, you know, if we're serious about this, if we want to preserve that open space now, you know, we're hearing that there are plans to develop that maybe housing or maybe even warehouses. I don't think warehouses, but maybe housing that as a result of the mayor's conversation with Mr. Mako. But the council voted to move forward on that. You have those appraisals. I hope that you're going to take this to the next step. Councilman Zabrowski, you brought up the mosque, which I appreciate. That will be decided. Well, that'll be for a hearing in 8 days. Whether, no matter what happens to that, Somebody has to take a look at that area on Ernston Road, near Bordentown, near the hole in the wall. People on a daily basis drive through that yellow hatching. We all see it. I see it at least twice a week. I go there. A resident came up here, talked about a serious accident his daughter was in. You've got to do something about that. Regardless, I mean, if the mosque is approved, it'll probably be worse. But regardless of what happens, we need to do something about that. Councilman Zabrowski, you weren't here last time. I wanted to mention two areas that I think ought to be considered for areas in need of redevelopment, the Robert E. Lee site and the former JCP&L on River Road. They are both waterfront. Neither are being used. They both have great potential. Neither of them have any trees that would have to be knocked down for them to be developed. And I think they can be made very productive. And I hope you and your committees will look into that. I have a couple other things, but I see my time is up. So well, you haven't told me to sit down. So, okay, thank you.
Mary Novak, 1 Scarlet Drive. At the last meeting, Frank came in and during the public portion, made a presentation about the Historical Society. And then he asked to speak again. And I realized that, we have new rules and everything. But since we have in the agenda proclamations and presentations, maybe we could remind all of the committees that if they do have a presentation, they should just notify the clerk in advance, and that way they could do it at that time in the meeting and they wouldn't have to take up the time in the public comments. Just a thought, because I really felt bad because even his second comment was something of a presentation from the Historical Society where it pertains to veterans. And other than that, Becky, you're a much better looking business administrator.
Thank you very much.
If there's no one else here at the meeting, I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
I make a motion to close the public.
Second. Roll call.
Aye.
Discussion. Comment?
No, we're good.
Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone.